Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at FEBRABAN Tech, presenting for you for the fifth year. Well, 4 years, that's a lot. Not many people do that. And I'll be talking about something I like to talk about, time. This is something that caught my attention on Instagram. I'm always trying to control my time when I'm doing stuff. I saw this cube and I use this to control how much time it takes me to do a certain task or to study or to rest after studying. And the fact is, we're controlling time all the time. We need to take care of our health, our work, our sleep, our family. We have a lot to deal with. So time is a very valuable thing. And in AI, time is even more valuable. And what is this relation between time and oil? Well, you can do many things with time at the same time, but once you've done these things, you can never go back. And that's what happens with oil. You can do a lot of things with oil, but you can never take it back to its original format. It's a very valuable, precious resource. Data has a lot of profusion. Data generate data that generate data. This is a cycle. So nowadays, well, data are like oil, but they need to be refined in AI, and that's what AI does. But who are the actors of time? Who are the agents in the organization that need to deal with AI in order to provide better experiences to their teams, their clients, and to make their organization more and more connected with AI with purpose? This is what I'll be talking about. If this were a soap opera, it would have many, many episodes, but I'll do this in 20 minutes. The first actor here is the CIO, the one who optimizes time taken in processes. The second one is CPO, the one that is trying to create products and services that use the time of clients just like us and organizations. And the third agent is the CIO, CTO, or CIO. It depends on the company, but it's the person who is responsible for architecting IA tasks that resist time. And this is something that is very, very hard to do because all technologies have been evolving very quickly. Now, talking as a COO, I'll tell you some of the challenges. First one, how can I deliver an automation that is not fast? What if it takes me 2 to 3 years to be able to deliver it? Well, I also need something scalable. I need to be able to scale my work according to the things that are happening on that day. Execution needs to be done very quickly as well. I need to make few mistakes with this process. I'm automating, so I have a more controlled environment, and I need to have quicker returns on investment. And I also need to have lower costs per transaction. If I do something faster, if I have more scale, if I'm able to deliver projects faster at lower costs, that's good. What about the pains? How are we addressing this kind of problem? We've been adopting a panoramic view of processes. When we automate processes, well, it's a lot different from making them automatic, and clients need to have them more quickly. We need to have this overview, but at the same time, we're focused on tasks that are game changer for some companies or clients, and that will change the way they operate with AI. So it needs to be an interactive, incremental process with short processes for each of these tasks. So we came up with this framework, which is AI accelerated framework. Why accelerated? In our labs, we've been saying that people will not necessarily replace people, but work with them. So every task will be automated by AI and can be accelerated by AI as work. So we have this framework where we evaluate the tasks that have higher volumes, that have more impact and less deviations. We also qualify these tasks based on the data that our clients have and also the technological maturity in the company. We created an MVP based on these tasks, and we follow a continuous flow of monitoring and involvement in the entire chain of our clients. In terms of experiences, how do we do that? For the financial market, I have 3 experiences here. First one, we have to respond to clients very quickly when they have any issues. I need to understand some contextual information and to get back to clients very fast. Instead of looking at the entire cycle of processes, we encapsulated each of the tasks within this flow using this methodology. The second one, sales, B2B sales specifically. We have demands. These demands come up in conversations, for example. How can we translate this into a B2B offering to accelerate sales? And the last one, onboarding. We have many onboarding processes that need to be accelerated by capturing and validation of documents. We use AI to accelerate processes that are done manually nowadays. This is the COO view. Now talking about the CPO. Those who are enchanting clients, what are the challenges that CPOs have? They need to increase LTV, how much the client is spending throughout time. We need to reduce churn as well. We need to have that client with us for longer periods. We need to increase their satisfactions on an ongoing basis. Every feature needs to be monitored to see if you have reached the goal. You have to reduce CAC as well. You need to have more clients with less efforts, fewer efforts. And you need to attract and retain clients to your platforms. This is what we call attention economy of attention. The kind of economy that makes you scroll on social media or on marketplaces. This is also translated in the financial sector. And there's also a paradigm related to interfaces. We've been, during conversations with companies and also conversations we had here, we've been talking about super apps. In these super apps, we have many financial services that are added to non-financial services in order to create an experience and make the client get more and more connected with your brand. But super apps are important to consolidate this vision, but it's important to plug these super apps to a more conversational and less transactional interface. Instead of having to enter many numbers, I need to be able to talk Remember, maybe our client is driving and they need to do something else. Clients want to talk to their brands and brands be able to help them. We need to offer broad services, and this is the game changer. This is the module that will be used from now on. In terms of approach, we've been working on panoramic view of the journey. Do I have to address the entire journey? No, but specific moments in the day of my client when they talk to my services and products. How can I make this experience more fluid using AI? So we use an incremental interactive model that has many changes, and we try to validate this cycle with the organizations. And we created a framework that is called CoWeb. Our clients bring their challenges to our co-labs. Sometimes they have developed something related to that, and we accelerate that based on a business case or prioritizations that we have agreed with this client for these cases. We carry out experimentation cycles to define the best solution for that. We put this into an MVP cycle, and we have continuous monitoring and feedback throughout the journey.
Em relação às experiências que a gente teve com o
Regarding experiences with CPO, we've been creating components of personalization focused on real-time card offerings, best cards for purchasing. Let's say that you were in a digital store, for example. You have many cards available. What is the card that offers the best benefit for a certain purchase? We have geolocation that captures the type of the store, the type of purchase, and considering all the products you have the best experience. Also, in terms of loyalty, how do we stimulate them in upselling, considering real-time purchasing? Another product we've developed and have been improving is the generator of insights. I talked about the monitoring of client satisfaction. We created a product for that. It captures feedback from clients in open platforms, social media, app stores, and they turn this information into insights for CPOs to improve their products and services based on the client's voice opinion. At 4Cs, we are already able to monitor more than 30 brands using open data so that we can offer insights proactively to improve products and services. And also conversational focus. All of our products and services have been thought about having a super app that can be accessed by conversational interfaces.
Por último, a visão, né, do CIO.
And the CIO, CTO, or CIO. These three professionals that work to make all of this architecture work. What are the challenges that they face nowadays? First of all, this is very common in our generation, is to keep up with the pace of changes in AI. We've been talking a lot about the technologies that will be used, and it's hard to have an exact answer for that because every time large players in the community have been improving this component, so we need to filter to see what is ready to use and what still requires some experimentation so that we can use our applications securely. Then they need to deploy and to run tests very quickly. So all business areas and product areas want quick implementation, and they use AI as an excuse, let's say. They always say AI is here for that. So we need to use AI to accelerate things we need within an organization. We need to also deal with the risks brought by AI. Great powers bring great responsibilities. So we need to be responsible about and also to be concerned about all the components that we're including, because they generate risks that are very different from the other risks we see. And also we need to build solutions that last for a long time. This is the case of all technologies, but with AI and the acceleration that is brought by AI, solutions may be obsolete very soon.
To make good choices or make good decisions. What is the approach that we have used internally to treat this pain, to treat these challenges? So first of all, we have to say that this is a piece of a great architectural jigsaw puzzle. I have systems, I have a series of legacy applications that already work, that have integrations, and I have to know that AI is another software system that needs to be coupled to this great jigsaw puzzle. It's very important to know this. And at the end of the day, AI is software, and I need to have all of the concerns, all of the issues when I work with software attached to AI in a much bigger scale. So we have also used it a lot in all AI solutions. We have used frameworks that were built specifically in cybersecurity for these applications. And exactly because of these risks that these applications bring, of building internally a framework with the best practices, MIT, NIST, Gartner, to be able to apply them in all of these projects we're working on. And finally, just like with any technology, many times there's something that happens which is over-engineering. We're able to capture so much from the market, and we want to put so much in the design, and we notice that many times if it's simple, it's going to work better. So it's ideal to work with an architecture that is incremental and has evolution, and not a big bang where you just put something which is too big, and then you're going to have to remove some of the pieces because they don't make sense anymore. So start small and think big. And to conclude, we also built a framework of technological stacks with AI. And we support the companies checking out their objectives, what they have in terms of AI. We did assessment for the applications, the data, everything the company already has about AI as well as technology. We defined with the customer an ideal architecture, and then we created a technological stack that is aligned to this ideal architecture, and it changes. So that's why it's important to keep validating and scaling it up, and if possible, having evolution over time. So now that I talked about these three players, the view of the COO, the CPO, and the CIO or CTO, and the Kyle, I think the important thing is to bring the experience that we built inside the lab, something that accelerates the development of agents or multi-agent systems. So today we see a series of no-code platforms that accelerate this process, and we went a little further. So today we have a product, a tool that in natural language allows you to ask it to build a multi-agent system for you. So he knows what your intention is, what you're building, and it detects the agents that should solve this problem. Then it defines the role of these agents, the task these agents will have, and builds the code of the agents for you. So we bring together the best of no code, because you can have a simple interface, but with the robustness of the code that you can put into your own infrastructure. And besides that, We have another product that combines the generation of pills or solutions and foresight, where we generate the user stories based on the challenges brought by the customers, and we validate these stories and make viable solutions looking at academic basis. So if I have an ultra specialist solution, is there some paper about it or something that talks about the solution? This accelerates the development and architectural work. And finally, you work on the development of the last 6 months. So Forces created an infrastructure called Moxie. And today it is maintained inside the labs, and just what it does is it's smart routing of queries that are made in AI. And how does it do that? It understands what the stimulus is that you're giving it, and then the model was trained, and it's able to recognize from the stimulus the best market model or what the best market models are to address that stimulus. So you're not stuck to model A or B or C anymore. This model defines the best path to follow. And this is something that we have used intensely in our products with the purpose of accelerating solutions and keeping ourselves agnostic to the solutions that are available in the market.
Quais são as conclusões?
What are the final conclusions I would like to bring to this panel? First of all, with regard to the COO,
Less is more.
less is more. What does that mean? When we look at a processing chain that we need to automate with AI, there are several other aspects that need to be done before that many times. So you have to do process mining, you have to understand volumes and indicators that are connected to the processes, and this kind of work ends up damaging some of the premises or the challenges that we have, because I want fast deliveries, I want value deliveries, I want have fast returns. So we can work on the tasks one by one, always maintaining this panoramic view of everything. And with regard to the CPO, we're not talking about the journey of the customer. The customer's journey, it's his journey. He goes to school, he gets traffic, and we have to be connected about how to hyper-personalize our products through an experience that is increasingly conversational. So let's use time intelligently, allowing our customers to do more things at the same time in a safe manner and using AI. And finally, the technological areas should see AI, especially the LLMs, the language models. They're going to use it as commodities. And AI is a component of architecture, and it's not an anomaly. So tomorrow we're going to have AI just like we had the internet or microservices from the past, and we're going to have others. And look at it this way. There's a lot of learning, but see it as an important component in your architecture and not as something that is strange, because that's not going to be strange anymore very soon. And to close my presentation, I brought the phrase from a philosopher called Seneca. He is a Stoic, and he says, it's not that we have very little time to live. It's from a book of his, and we basically waste a lot of time. And that's exactly what I'm saying. So how can we waste less time using artificial intelligence in favor of our teams, in favor of our customers and our organization? Once again, thank you very much to FEBRABAN. Thank you very much to Forces for giving me this opportunity to represent the company. And I'm very proud of being there and making things happen. And I invite all of you to our stand to have some coffee and to find out how Forces is transforming and can transform your experiences, making them more connected according to the purposes of your companies. Thank you.